Let's say you need validation from others. Say you do need male validation. You don't feel loved enough, you don't feel beautiful enough, you don't feel intelligent enough, and you perceive that this person is higher or better than you, and so you need them to convince you that you are. So if I got this straight, you need validation from someone who you think is better than you, from someone who is a mirror of everything that you wish you were. You decide to go to them for you decide to go to a flawed person, another flawed person, for validation. Someone who has a completely different beauty standard than you. Someone who has a completely different thought process than you. Who has a completely different everything than you. You decide to go to them for validation on you. Do you not see how your process is inherently flawed? Do you not see how that perpetuates a cycle of self-hate? Everyone is flawed. No one is perfect. Everybody has issues. You have issues too. Do not make someone who will never understand you in a holistic sense the source of where your worthiness comes from. It will never work. It will never work. People change all the time. If you decide to bend to fit each standard of good enough, each standard of pretty enough that this guy has now decided to change to and adhere to 48 hours later, you will continue to shift into chameleon and to live as a shell of the person that you were meant to be. You will never live in fulfillment of the person that you were put on this earth to be. Stay with me. Point number one in not requiring external validation or even male validation is to work smarter, not harder. We're figuring out how to decenter men from our lives. We're figuring out how to not always internalize people's opinions of us, especially when they don't really matter. We're learning how to validate ourselves. If we're doing that, we need to understand what about ourselves that we don't like. What is it about ourselves that we are itching to maximize in order to attract men and to get them to desire us, in order to attract friends to get them to like us? For men, if it's your body, instead of dressing more provocatively to attract temporary attraction or attention, dress in a way that enhances the natural thing that you already have. You have a naturally beautiful body, but instead of trying to appeal, dress in a way that enhances the curves that you already have. Maybe dress in colors that enhance and maximize the natural coloring that you already have. Doing it this way, it's literally going to give you the affirmation and the confirmation that, oh, I'm actually beautiful. I'm actually desirable, because this will affirm the truth that naturally I am attractive without, before, during, and after the agreement of a man. This style of skirt or the shape of this blouse makes your body line look amazing, or the color of this top literally makes your skin tone pop. Your natural coloring is gorgeous. Your body line or your body shape is beautiful. It's just been hidden until now. It's just ignorance. It's not because you lack beauty completely. It's not because your body is completely undesirable. It's just because you didn't know how to work with it until now. Ignorance can be fixed, but we need to get to the root of the issue. If your desire for external validation and for male validation stem from the type of relationships or lack thereof that you have of people in your life, I would suggest for that prayer and therapy, because that is what helped me when I was also experiencing the desire for external validation in a way that was very internalized. All of my need and desire for male validation or need and desire for validation of other people was never outwardly expressed, just internal. And so that was from different relationships that I had, whether familial or platonic or romantic, in my life. And so I had to pray and ask God, someone who has a literal infinite source of knowledge, to help me figure out how to get from A to B. I don't want to be a person that relies on external validation. I don't want to be a person that relies on male validation. How do I heal from this? And how do I become the woman that I always wanted to be? Someone that is self-assured. And I would also suggest active validation, like active affirmations. I talk about this in so much of my other videos, but I just want to say active validations are going to be one of the stepping stones to getting you into that level of confidence where you do not need external validation. You do not need the opinions and the adorations or the compliments of other people to help you get by, because you were already doing it yourself. You were already doing it at a level that works for you and that you are starting to believe and agree with. And it doesn't matter if it looks weird. Who cares? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be insecure anymore. Stay with me. The second point for us to not need male validation and to not run on the battery of external validation is for us to understand and reject cancel out theory. When you are someone that has men at the center of their lives, or when you are someone that is insecure, you tend to crave validation a lot, obviously. And so because of that, you view other women as competition. Before you click out, before you start your manhunt, stay with me. I'm going to explain. Guys, please. You could be the type of woman who, through her desires for male validation and covert insecurity, because that's also there, you are hostile to other women or always tend to put them down. Whether it is verbally, actually do it, or it's internally. Or you can go the complete other route, and you can be the type of woman who, through her desire for the validation of men, you view other women as competition, but not in a way that you want to put them down, but their mere presence makes you feel bad about yourself because you perceive that they have a level of beauty or intelligence or something that you do not have. To that, I say, get rid of the cancellation mindset that you have accompanied with all or nothing thinking. When I heard this from Leo Skeppy, it literally changed my life because I didn't realize that I was doing it all along. And you probably are doing it too, the cancel out mindset. I'm going to explain it to you in an example. First of all, I just want to explain that there's a difference between self-love and conditional self-love. Conditional self-love is when you only love yourself or feel that you are worthy or desired or valuable when you are done up in a way that is beautiful to you. So not your natural self, not your state 24/7, but only when you look 100% good. Only when you look like the elevated version of yourself. That is not self-love, that is self-lust, and it is conditional. But we will get into that in another video. Say you have conditional self-love. You've done your makeup all up, you've dressed all nice, you've blowed out your hair, and you're like, I look amazing, I look wonderful, I am valued, I am desirable, I am gorgeous. You are affirming yourself because you look this way, right? So you have in your head that you're pretty. You walk into a room and there's another pretty girl there. She is pretty. And so because you have that not so concrete self-love, you have that conditional self-love, you have that self-lust instead of holistic and concrete self-love, you are going to see her as competition. And because you also see her as pretty, you cancel yourself out and you think that you are not pretty just because she is there. The literal thought process that you will go through is, I thought I was pretty, she is pretty, so I must be ugly. What? How the hell did we get to that conclusion? Because of this cancellation mindset, you literally believe that two things that are the same could not exist in the same space. And because you have this all or nothing mindset, you think that if someone else shares the same trait as you, at a level that you perceive to be higher than that of which you possess yourself, you then look at them as the true possessors of that trait and you think that you do not have it at all. You're literally doing mental gymnastics just to make yourself feel bad about yourself. Your brain is going through overdrive just to make you feel like a loser. What are you doing? Let's not do that. Let's actually look at maths, simple maths. 1 + 1 = 2. One pretty girl plus another pretty girl equals 2 pretty girls. It does not equal 1 pretty girl because there can only be one. No, it equals 2. You're pretty, she's pretty, there are 2 pretty girls in the room. That is it. Do not overthink it, shut it down. And if you catch yourself going through this thought process of, oh my gosh, I must not be pretty because she is beautiful, she's like more pretty than me, she's a 9 and I'm a 6, or I must not be intelligent because they are so much more intelligent than me. They always answer right in class and give these eloquent answers and can always talk without stuttering, this, that, and the third. Catch yourself, stop your brain, literally cut off the thought process, admire the person, give them their dues, and also give yourself your dues because you are intelligent too. You are beautiful too. It is just the presence of 2 beautiful people or two intelligent people. It doesn't mean that you are not smart because someone else is smart. It doesn't mean that you are not beautiful because someone else is beautiful. When it comes to beauty and things like that, there will always be someone who is more beautiful than you. There is always going to be someone that is more intelligent than you. However, your beauty and your type of intelligence is one of a kind. There's only one of it that exists, and that is in you. You don't need to match the level of someone else, because you will never get to that level, because there's only one of her, but there is also only one of you. No one else can be you. No one else can do things the way that you do. No one else can look the way that you do. Unless you have a twin. But that's besides the point. Next point. This was also my thought process. You might be this type of person, and I'm just going to explain it very quickly. Oh, but I like this boy. I really like him. I don't do it for all men. I just want to do it for this one boy because I really like him. I want him to validate me and to validate the fact that I am desired, I am wanted, and I am loved. Understood. A crush is basically a lack of information. You like the projection of what you think you know. You like the projection of your desires and the expectations that you have placed on this guy through your imagination and through your internal life. You do not like him. You like the idea of him more. You like the idea of being with him more. You like the idea of falling for him more. But it's not him that you like. And because you like this idea that you conjured up in your head so much, and you want him to validate this desire that you have, but also for the imagination that you've made to come to pass, you will do anything to make it happen, which means becoming a person that you aren't. You're going to start to pretend to like things just for him to like you. You're going to start to dress in a certain way just for him to look at you. Can I tell you something? What if I told you that by you doing that, you were just manipulating him into liking you? So he won't actually like you, he will just like the idea of you. So he won't actually like you, but he will like the person that he thought you were. The mask always falls. If you truly liked this person, you would like to show him the best versions of you, who you truly are. If you want to appeal to him and you want him to desire you, you would show the most desirable parts of you, who you truly are. You wouldn't want to solely have his attraction for you or his desire for you triggered by you appealing to his most basal instincts or by becoming a cardboard copy of his personal build-a-girlfriend. You deserve so much more than that, and you were put on here for so much more than that. You have so many beautiful and amazing qualities that you deserve someone else to see, to cherish, and to love, than for you to hide those away and have a new false set of characteristics that you don't truly believe or adhere to just because you want this person to validate your need to be loved and to be in a relationship and to actually be desired. So some of you might be thinking, okay, but Jessica, I just want to be liked. I just want to be in a relationship. I just want to be loved. Okay, understood. That is completely normal. That is completely fine. But how much more satisfying would it be if you were liked, loved, or desired just because you were unapologetically you, without having to shapeshift into something else? How amazing would it feel for all those past experiences of people telling you that you weren't good enough, that you weren't pretty enough, that you weren't this enough, yada, 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 all to be invalidated because the one time that you decide not to bend to someone else's will of pretty enough, smart enough, quiet enough, they liked you. They came, they saw you, and they stayed. So all of those past experiences were all invalidated because someone saw the true you and someone saw the real you and decided to stay. And this is not external validation. Because for you to have the courage to show up as a true version of yourself in the first place, you need to validate and believe in yourself first that this true version of you, you like. That this version of you, you love enough that you are not going to keep it hidden and locked away. You have the assurance and the confidence that others out there will love it too, because you do. It starts with you. The internal validation was the preset. It was the first step, and it was already completed. So, to conclude, okay, number one, men are also imperfect beings. You cannot base your self-worth on an imperfect being. Number two, tolerance will never translate into love. Number three, you have to be with yourself for a long time. So make your opinion of yourself high and concrete enough, because no one else knows you how you know you. 4, You will flourish when you decide not to shift, to expose, or to hide every and any aspect of yourself, depending on the desires of men. Men are great. We love men in this space, but they are just men. They're just men. If you stayed with me this far, hi, welcome, I love you, and just hold on because I'm going to give you an imagination, a scenario, a future vision of what you would be like if you were someone that was self-confident, self-assured, and did not require male validation or external validation. Let's go. She lives her life fully, and she has lots of perfect opportunities for her life because she doesn't have to pretend to be someone else to get them. She has an amazing group of friends that she has deep and flourishing friendships with because her accepting, while she wasn't perfect, she liked herself and she was able to attract people who loved her and poured into her, and she can pour into them back because she is wholly her, not blending, not pretending, not trying to force anything, just being herself. She was also able to attract the man of her dreams because she loved everything that she was, and although she wasn't perfect, she was perfect for him. And she is magnetic to him because she accepts and she loves herself, and she isn't desperately seeking his or anyone else's validation or attention, and she is focused on herself and not minding what others think of her. And so because of that, she gets pretty far. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and it was very much like a whole rant because I wish somebody would have told me this when I was in high school, like in my early teens and stuff like that, because I would have saved so much time and so much mental turmoil if I had just heard all of these things. And so I'm saying all of these things with the intention of maybe reaching out to another ghetto who is probably going through the same thing that I went through, to let them know that you are enough without someone else having to tell you that you were enough. You were enough because you're here in the first place. Someone looked at you, made you, decided that you are good, and decided to put you on this earth. And so because of that, regardless, like literally nothing else matters. Because you exist, you were enough. And that's that. You don't need to rely on the validation or the attention of someone else for you to know you are enough. I'm telling you that you are enough. Like this video and subscribe to my channel, and just comment just anything that popped into your head whilst you were watching this video, because I haven't really been receiving much comments recently, but I love to talk to you guys and I love to just interact with people. So if you were to leave a comment, that would genuinely make my day, and I would do my very best to respond in a timely manner. Stay tuned because I have so much videos coming up, especially now that it's autumn. I'm so excited. Autumn is my most favorite season and I have so many video ideas. Matter of fact, I think the next video I'm making is autumn themed, so stay tuned for that. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.